So I bought a new hat. It looks a lot like the old hat, but the difference between the old hat and the new hat is the new hat is new. So I want to talk about nature versus nurture and why some people are a-holes and can't function in normal society, and why those same people should probably not reproduce. I was just thinking the other day about how much of what we have become as individuals is directly related to experiences from our past, as opposed to things that you're born with and things that you are born knowing. Honestly, when you're born, you're not born knowing much of anything other than how to turn oxygen into carbon dioxide and how to digest food and do your poops and papes. And frankly, you don't do that so well either. But I digress. But when it comes to problems like sexism and racism and ageism and any other isms that you can think of, it seems like these traits are bestowed upon us by the people around us. Namely, your first influences being your parents. Of course, as you get older, you kind of decide on what things you're gonna believe in and choose to pursue and follow and hold dear to you. But there are things such as religion that are kind of forced upon you at an early age. I mean, who chooses at a couple months old that you're gonna get baptized or christened into a certain religion? Let's cover grasping the language that the given religious book is written in before we move forward. I mean, there are even some parents that choose the types of activities that their children are going to be participating in, such as sports or music or any other extracurricular activities, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. And while I agree that yes, majority of things like that are probably for your own good and are doing more good than harm if taken in moderation, but if the child at hand is not truly choosing to do those things, don't you think that kind of defeats the purpose? I mean, how many times do you hear about people who have serious issues later on in life that the conversation comes down to, let's talk about your mother and let's talk about your father. Mother and father were those words. Yeah. Because at the biggest growing stage of your life, you were instilled these beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and experiences by the guardians closest to you, being most likely your parents, or for some people, the lack thereof. So I can't help but feel like as you're experiencing all of these things and feeling these feelings and sort of building up who you're eventually going to be emotionally and psychologically in the future, it's kind of like this giant back and forth. It's like a metaphorical game of Jenga, if you want to put it that way. When you're born, you're the one solid block that has all the little pieces. And as you grow, you continually experience things. So you take this up, oh, this is something I can take and I can move this up here because that makes me a better person. Oh, but that leaves a little space down here. Okay. So as you're building up, you're also taking these little bits and pieces away that are maybe bad experiences or things that aren't so great for your character as a person. And I feel like most people continue to build, and they just continue to build, but they still have these little bits and pieces that are kind of make things a little unstable, and they're not the greatest things for the overall structure of that unified block. But if you continue to take the right pieces and move them to the top, and you're continuously building this thing, there's no telling where you can go before you're, hopefully not that bad. But then there are some people who think that certain pieces are more important and remove those from the bottom and move them to the top, and before you know it, enough of those pieces move from the bottom to the top, and you've got this lopsided, top-heavy structure that's gonna come toppling over, and then you gotta start all over again. And that's the thing about Jenga, is it's not always you that's moving the pieces. There are other people playing this game too. So it may not be your fault that these pieces that have built you up are also making you fall down. So I guess what I'm trying to say with all of this is that you very well may not be responsible for all the character flaws that you have and the things that don't make you the best person possible. There are a lot of people around you that are influencing decisions and things that you do on a daily, hourly, minute basis. So it may not be your fault. You can't control all of that, and it's perfectly fine. But what you can control is moving forward, what pieces you're going to choose to move from the bottom to the top to continue building you. It's your responsibility to prioritize. It's your responsibility to acknowledge those things that don't make you a great person and move forward to change them. The important part is to know when those pieces are starting to wiggle. You just need to take that one block on the bottom to stabilize everything up top. And it's up to you to figure out what that piece is. So just keep making yourself a better person. Jenga!